Welcome back to the weekly Forexcast. All right, so I'm going to be covering the setups I have on my watch list for the week, and let's see what we can actually look to get into. So, starting with the dollar index, we see with NFP last week, price found support here after that impulsive sell-off from supply, and now we're pushing back towards this level of supply. All right, so we could possibly push deeper into the supply zone before we see that price roll over. All right, but right now it looks like it can possibly pull it up a little deeper. So let's look at GU. So with GU, GU has been in this downtrend here on a daily. From this high of supply, we had an impulse sell-off here, pullback, retest of structure, continuation, retest of structure here, continuation down. The price found support in this demand level and gave us a big bullish wave back up, right back towards this level of structure where we had levels of sellers in the past. All right, so if we look at this on the daily, price printed this bearish engulfing on the daily. All right, with that being on the daily, that shows us some value. That usually it's a sign that the sellers are coming. The sellers are about to take control of this market, especially when you're at a level of structure like we are now. All right, so if we go down to the 4-hour chart, we can see price starting to break down a bit out of this counter trend. Got this counter trend line right here. All right, price in a way, this is like I would say this is like a descending, it's like a descending triangle right here. All right, and we see price is starting to break down. It's starting to break structure. So I would say either we could look for some type of pullback and then potential continuation, or we could see a price want to continue to break down from here. And on this breakdown, we can look for those pullback opportunities for continued sales. All right. So it's either I would look for, more of a breakdown, like maybe breaking this structure right here. All right. If we get something like that, we can look for pullback, maybe retest opportunities for those continuation moves down. All right. Or pull back first and then look for those continuations on the pullback. All USD. So all USD actually also went in line with that dollar strength that came in. Look at this on a daily. Price has been in a downtrend on the daily, similar to GU. As we see right here, this is real clear at this high. All right, we got this lower high here, and price just continued to sell off. Break structure, retest, continuation down, pullback, continuation down, retest, break of this major psychological level, pulled back and retested it. All right, as resistance, and now we're rejecting and holding it as resistance. So looking to the left, this was a major level of support there. If we look more into the past, all right, it was a major level of resistance or supply there. All right, so by us breaking below that, and now we're retesting that as resistance, that's a sign that we're going to continue down, especially seeing on the daily, we got this bearish engulfing on that retest. All right, so for me, I'm still anticipating, a continued sell-off here. So really, it would have been nice to enter up here at this high, but we would need to see if price want to pull back. Like, it's still Sunday. I don't really trade Sundays unless I'm already in the trade holding it from last week. So I would say, any opportunity you get on a pullback, just look to continue to take this down. I mean, at least I expect price to come back down to this low, but seeing that we in this downtrend, I mean, we could see this continue. All right. So if price just continues down from here, breaking structure, you can look for those pullback opportunities and continuation. Or if price, give you another pullback opportunity here, I believe that would be a pullback opportunity to continue it down. All right. So I wouldn't chase price right here. I would wait, let Sunday pass and see if price want to give us one more pullback or where we can get the potential opportunity to catch that continuation move. All right. NZDUSD. So this is a trade that was given out at VIP. My traders, we should still be in this, still holding this in profit. You can adjust your stop loss, but looking at this, same thing. This is pretty much on the downtrend as well on the daily. From this high to this, basically, you had a break of structure here, retest, continuation, price pulled back, retested that structure again, formed this lower high and broke down. All right, so it's moving to the downside. Right here, you see we at this level of, this is pretty much a range right here, but it is respecting this same level of sellers or resistance in the past. So looking at this on a daily chart, price came up there, rejected, and it didn't just reject, but it also gave us this bearish engulfing. All right, that also could be looked at as like an evening star. All right, that's a sign of sellers taking control. and looking to push this down more, especially since it's on the daily. All right, so we go down to the smaller time frame. All right, you could take a counter trend line right here. All right, and we can see we got that impulsive breakdown of this level. You always look left to go right. Price is respecting it the same way it did in the past, and now we're moving to the downside. All right, if you moving averages I use, we also got the crossover happen, added confluence. All right, so now I'm expecting this to still push more down towards these support levels. All right, so I would either say, wait for a pullback, because it could still possibly pull back, and retest structure, somewhere in there. Let's say it look like on a 1 hour. Let's say if price decide to actually come back, pull back, and retest around here, I would look for those potential continuation sell setups on that pullback. All right. Or just watch for your opportunities. If it continue to break down from here, all right, I would say wait for a pullback. All right, wait for your opportunity. Don't chase price, because it could break this low, and then you just let it pull back, and then just catch your opportunity there, or wait for it to possibly retest here and continue. But I am looking for price to stay below that shoulder, that lower high shoulder, at the start of this breakout right here. All right. So let's say a price was to come back, retest around this structure, you could look for potential sell there. My stop loss will be above, this lower high structure, TPs to the downside. All right. So that's NU. Euro USD. Euro USD, it also went in line with that strong dollar that came in. So we see this as well from these highs, downtrend. All right, all the way from this level of supply, big sell-off, retest, continuation, retest, continuation. This just gave us a bigger corrective move up. And you see with the strong dollar, I was just a lower high, and it continued to push. So I believe this is pushing at least back into this demand level here. All right, and around here, we could potentially get a nice buy setup. All right, but I do believe we'll get, at least one more decline to the downside before price possibly respect this level of demand, the strong level of demand to the left, and then possibly give us a buy. So something like this. GJ. So looking at GJ on the daily, we've been in a downtrend here on the daily. So you see you had a big sell-off, pullback, lower high, continuation, retest, continuation. Price came back one more time right here around this same level and respected it. All right. So on this respect of price, you see price gave us this sell down right here, and then we found support here, and bounced back up. So looking at price on a daily, this is a breaker bounce type scenario, because we got, lower high here, lower high here, lower high, and our price is basically in this structure point or structure level, where it could potentially be a double top, a retest of this lower high, and a continue move down. We see on the daily, this daily candle printed a doji, which is a sign of indecision. A lot of times after that, especially when price is trading within a certain trend, like how we got a doji here, how we got a doji there, and then price just continued to roll over. All right, price continued to roll over from there. So this is a potential, like the same type of scenario can play out. All right. So now let's see the potential. So if we look at the 4 hour, all right, respecting, coming back to the same level. All right. So what I would do is we could take a counter trend line right here. Counter trend line here. All right. So if price comes down and break below structure, like let's say, for example, again, I don't like to trade Sunday. So let's say I wait till the daily Monday, Monday close. All right. And I see a nice rejection from this level, like that daily candle tomorrow close with a nice bearish rejection. Then for me, that's a sign that, okay, it's respecting this hold resistance. So now I can look for price to continue to roll over. All right. So if price comes down and give me a sharp rejection from this level, I would catch those pullbacks. All right. And look to continue down towards this support structure again. All right. I can also take a tighter counter trend line right here. All right. To make it even tighter. All right, so really, if price comes down, let's say break structure around here. All right, something like this. If we have a breaker structure, boom. All right, for me, that's a good sign. All right, so then I would look for those potential pullback opportunities or retest, and then catch that continuation move down. All right, it's looking like it's possibly setting up for that right now. Okay, so we'll see how that develops. Definitely will have my eyes on GJ this week. GBPCAD. So GBPCAD is at a interesting level. You see up here, price had a respected from this same level of supply, right? Right here, had a big sell-off, same level of supply. Then it pulled back, rejected. So where price is currently at, we had a breaker bounce type scenario here. So with this, price did respect and reject from this level around 1.75 psychological. So with this, if I'm looking for a potential move, I would need to see a breaker structure right here. If we get a breaker structure there, I would say look for a pullback and continue that down. All right, it's either we can get that or price can give us possibly one more wave up to the supply level and then give us that move over. All right, so those are two possible scenarios I'll see. So with this, I would just wait for tomorrow's daily candle close. And if it closes with a nice rejection, all right, then Monday we can look for that pullback, or Monday night going into Tuesday, we can look for that pullback opportunity and look to take it down. All right, CHFJPY. So if we look at CHFJPY, we can see right here that price came up to this level of supply, and at this level of supply, or this level of structure, basically where price had previous structure resistance and rejected from that level. You see it was some support structure here. So this is a key level of structure I will pay attention to. We see on the daily, we got a bearish engulfing. Again, that's a sign that price is holding at this level, and we could potentially see that continuation down from there. So bearish engulfing on the daily. All right. And we also look at this right here. We got a double top right here. This is a double top. All right. Rejection of structure, double top. So with this, I would say look for a breaker structure. All right. You could take your counter trend line right here, and starting to break down to the trend line. We also got moving averages crossover. All right. So the confluences are adding up. I definitely believe we're going to continue to sell. With this, I would say wait for a break of this neckline. With a break of that, look for a pullback or a retest and catch that continuation down. All right, either that or possibly get a pullback first and then, continue down. But I believe we will break this, possibly retest the neckline and continue. All right, and gold. So gold had a strong sell-off last week with that strong dollar. If we look at here on the weekly, I got this weekly ascending trend line right here. So this is major. All right, price has clearly been in an uptrend on the weekly. All right, clearly. So if price break this trend line, that's a sign that we're going to get a deeper correction to the downside. And I believe it will. It's just a matter if we want to pull back first or if we want to break first and then pull back. Because here on the weekly, we got a strong bearish engulfing close. That's a sign that the sellers are in control. And it's likely that we're still going to see continued pressure to the downside. So with that type of bearish engulfing, we're probably going to see price come back down towards this demand level here. All right, before even bouncing, rejecting there or going lower. All right, so with this, I would look at something like this. It's still showing bearish pressure. So I would wait for a break, either a break of this and then maybe a retest and continuation down. All right. Or, if price was to, it's still Sunday, so price could be just playing around this level, because looking to the left, this also is a level of demand. All right. So if price does give some type of bullish price action here, you could possibly get a short-term corrective move up for a pullback, before price continue that down. All right. Because with that bearish engulfing on the weekly, I do believe the overall momentum, all right, is going to push this down more. Okay. So that's gold. All right. So those are the potential setups that are on my watch list for the week. I hope that helps. We just got to be patient, let the market come to us, and let's capitalize. See you on the next session.